Somebody in your group just killed someone. There's no police to call, no jail to use, and tomorrow you all have to hunt together anyway. Picture it. A few dozen of you, no more. You've known each other your whole lives. You share food. You raise each other's kids. You sleep a few feet apart. And now one of you is standing over a body breathing hard. And everyone is very quietly deciding what happens next. There are no laws. No word for crime. No one whose job it is to handle this. Just a small group of people who now have a killer sleeping in their camp. That problem, what a group does with one of its own who kills, is one of the oldest social problems our species has, and the answer built something you still live inside today. It's where justice comes from, and it is far older and far darker than you'd guess. 3 things here that almost everyone gets backwards. First, the oldest murder we've ever found is 430,000 years old, and it might not even have been our species that did it. Second, the very first form of justice wasn't a court or a chief or a punishment handed down from above. It was something much more disturbing, and you already have the instinct for it. And at the end, the question I can't answer, whether the thing we did to killers is what made us peaceful or what made us dangerous. So let's go back. Go to a cave in northern Spain called Sima de los Huesos, the Pit of Bones. At the bottom of a deep vertical shaft, researchers found the remains of at least 28 individuals. Among them, a skull rebuilt from 52 fragments, known as cranium 17. Above the left eye, it has 2 holes, made by the same object, striking twice, at slightly different angles. You don't get that from a fall. Someone stood in front of this person and struck them, on purpose, 430,000 years ago. It's the oldest murder in the human record. And the victim wasn't even Homo sapiens yet. Early Neanderthal-like people, killing each other on purpose before our species existed. So the body, and someone in the group who made it a body, is not new. It's one of the oldest things we have evidence of at all, which means the problem of what to do next is just as old. Now, you'd assume the answer is obvious. The group catches the killer and punishes them. Someone in charge decides. And justice is done. Right? Wrong. Because in a band of a few dozen nomads, there is no one in charge. No chief, no judge, no jail. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm spent decades studying how mobile hunter-gatherer bands actually handle this, and what he found flips the whole picture. There is no authority to hand down justice from above. So justice comes from below, from everyone, at once. Most of the time, it doesn't even get that far. Boehm found the most common outcome is stunningly simple. The killer just leaves, slips away from the band permanently or until things cool. A killer with no group, alone on an Ice Age landscape, is usually a dead killer. Exile was often a death sentence that no one had to carry out. But when the killer wouldn't leave, when someone kept being violent, kept dominating, kept killing, the band did something that should sound very familiar. And already, quietly, the real question starts forming underneath it. Was this the thing that made us gentle, or the thing that taught us how to kill together? Here's what they did. The whole group would quietly reach a consensus that this person had to die, and then they'd carry it out together. Often it was arranged so that a close relative of the killer struck the blow, so no single family could start a blood feud and revenge. Everyone agreed. Everyone was, in a sense, responsible. No one person was the executioner. And that is not a murder. That's the first execution, the first time a group of humans decided together that one of them had forfeited the right to live, and killed him for the good of everyone else. Capital punishment might be the oldest legal institution on Earth. Older than courts, older than kings, older than farming. A group of foragers standing in a circle, agreeing that someone has to go. Now, the honest version, because there's a real argument here and I'm not going to smooth it over. How violent were these people, really? Look at Nataruk, in Kenya, around 10,000 years ago. 27 people, including women and children, some with their hands apparently bound, killed with arrows and clubs and left where they fell. Or the Talheim death pit in Germany. 34 men, women, and children killed with stone axes and dumped in a hole. Some researchers say this proves violence was ancient and everywhere. Others push back. A handful of massacre sites across hundreds of thousands of years might be the rare exceptions we happen to find, not the rule. But here's the part that matters, and it's darker than the debate. The same power that lets a group agree to execute one killer is the power that lets a group agree to kill 27. Consensus doesn't care what it's aimed at. The machine we built to handle our killers is the same machine that builds a mob. So here's what the bones and the bands leave you with. We think of justice as the thing that makes us civilized, the opposite of murder. But the very first justice was a killing, a group of people deciding together to end a life. The line between "we executed him" and "we murdered him" is not written in the bones. It's written in one thing only: whether the group agreed. Which means the power that lets us live together in peace, the power to collectively decide someone must die, is the exact same power that lets a group turn on anyone at all. Was it justice we invented back there in that circle? Or just murder we all agreed on? So tell me down in the comments, if there were no police, no courts, no one in charge, and someone in your group killed someone you loved, what would you want the group to do? Be honest. I read every single one. And if this is the kind of question that keeps you up at night, subscribe and stick around, because almost nothing is stranger or more worth understanding than the animal you happen to be.